Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Austin, if you don't know me, and we'll call this Austin Martin Fitness. We're doing a fitness video today. I'll be talking about my philosophy today as a person who trains and also as a person who coaches people who are working on their health, on their fitness, on their training, and everything like that. I've talked about this before on my Instagram. I did a short little couple-minute video. I want to expand a little bit on that because I feel like this topic is so important when it comes to training and seeing the best results you can see. Now, my philosophy does not revolve around a specific style of training. I have the type that I like. My philosophy revolves around training as long and as constant as you possibly can. So I do not promote any short-term fixes, any get shredded in 6 weeks, any of this, because my philosophy, my whole belief system behind how do you achieve the best results possible is to do your training, your diet, your fitness for as long as possible and as consistently as possible. Because without that, it's not going to work. No matter how optimal your diet is, no matter how hard you train, no matter if you're doing the perfect program, if you do the perfect program for 6 months, somebody who does a very imperfect program that only trains a couple times a week, in 6 years and 5 years and 10 years, they're going to look, they're going to feel, and they're going to be in a much better position because they went in the long term. They focused on themselves. They said, what's going to give me the most return over the longest period of time? And that's going to be the most successful person. I've taken this approach to myself after finding, in the beginning, I made some of those mistakes as to taking the short-term approach. I got hurt. I did some wrong diets. But overall, I stayed consistent. For the last 8 years, I have been training with really 100% consistency. I haven't taken any weeks off, really. I've taken some downtime, and you should take some deload weeks, take some time to rest, but you should never take time off completely from your training, especially for a long period of time, for months and months or years like a lot of us do. So I'm going to go over my 5 tips for keeping this longevity and consistency and just continuousness, is that a word? Continuousness? To your program, your training, your health. These are my 5 tips. I really don't know what order to put them in because as I look at my list, I think, okay, this one should be number 1, and then I'm like, well, no, this one should be number 1. All 5 of these should be number 1, all right? So please watch the whole video, listen to these 5 tips, take notes, apply it to yourself. Think if you're doing anything that might be going against these principles. This is what I believe, and I wholeheartedly believe this is the best way to go about your training. So here we go. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Alright, so tip number 1, do what you can do. What I mean by this is don't wait for the perfect time to start your training or for the perfect time to get back into it and get back on the horse and start working out and start eating right again. There is not going to be a perfect time. It's the same thing in every aspect of life. Whether it's starting a business or going back to school or starting a family, there's not a perfect time to start. You've got to just start doing it. And if you don't have 5 days a week to work out, 2 days a week is better for these 6 months where you're really busy. 2 days a week for 6 months will get you in a much better position in 6 months to go 100% into your program. Working out 2 days a week for 6 months will have you in a significantly better position to start diving 100% into your training, going 4 days a week, 5 days a week, and really focusing on your diet than you would if you did nothing for 6 months. Start now, do something with that time, and stay consistent. And this philosophy applies if you've been training already. Let's say you've been training 5-6 days a week, your diet's been on point, and something comes up. You're really busy, school gets busy, work gets busy, whatever it may be, don't go to zero. Step back from your training, move from 5 days a week to 2 days a week, or from 5 days a week to 1 day a week. Do whatever you can to continue the path. Because the second you completely stop, you're going to have to re-motivate yourself to get going. You're going to lose a lot of progress. It's going to be a whole ordeal rather than just realizing, okay, I'm busy right now. Let me take a step back. I'm going to continue my training and I'm going to continue eating right. I'm not going to be so intense with it. And then when I have that time, that's when I'll really come back and give it 100%. So don't, please, 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 don't completely take time off if you get busy. Take a step back, train on the weekends, do 1 or 2 workouts a week, stay active. Don't let your progress go completely to the wayside, because in a few months when you're feeling better, you have more time, you're going to really regret that decision. And the goal, like I said at the beginning of this video, is longevity, consistency. We're working to always be in a good spot, to always be working out. The benefits of working out are not in 6 months. They happen quickly. You start feeling better, you start sleeping better, you're happier. Keep working out, keep going with those goals. Please, please, please start now or don't take time off. No matter how busy you are, you've got to find time to do something that works for you. My next point is to do what you enjoy doing. What I mean by that is everybody enjoys something that's a little bit different, all right? You might really enjoy swimming, or you might be like me, you really enjoy weight training. You might like classes, you might like running, you might like calisthenics in the park. Whatever it may be, do that. There's no point to do something that's optimal or the best program if you don't enjoy it. If you don't enjoy your programs, one, you're not going to be happy with your workouts. Working out should be something that's enjoyable. You should be excited to go work out, do whatever you like. But two, you're not going to stick with it. If you're doing a program that you hate and it's dreadful, dreadful every single time you go to the gym, you're not going to stick with it. There's no point in doing it, because in 3 months when it's over or you quit, it's just going to be done. All that hard work, all that misery during your program, it's not going to be worth it. So start with something you enjoy. If you really like classes, do classes. Do those for a couple months. If you want to start working in some weight training, throw some weight training in. If you want to try running, try some running. Whatever it is, do what you like. Try new things. If you like those, add them in. While there may be an optimal training for a certain goal that you have, if you're not enjoying your training, you're not going to stick with it and you're never going to reach that optimal level. So there's no point. I know that the training that I do is not going to be 100% optimal, but I absolutely love the way I train, and so I really don't see any point in changing it for something that's going to be slightly better, that might give me a little bit better results. But every day I'm going to wake up, I'm going to think, I don't want to go to the gym right now, I have to do this today. I wake up every single day and I say, yes, I get to go to the gym, I get to work out, I get to have fun in there, do what I like, and progress the way that I enjoy. So, do what you enjoy. That's going to keep you working out for a much, much longer time than something that you don't enjoy doing. Now, number 3 involves your nutrition. And I will stand by this until the day I die. Extreme diets do not work in the long term. They will work short term. A very difficult keto diet will get you to lose weight, but so will every other diet that puts you in a calorie deficit. Diets do not have to be extreme. They just have to bring your calories down to be less than what you're expending each day. And you will get 1,000 different diets that all claim to be the best, that will all do the same thing for you. But if they're extreme and they restrict your foods and restrict the things that you like to eat, you will not stick with it. The same way that you won't stick with a training program that you don't enjoy, you will not stick long term with a diet that you don't enjoy. Your diet should be able to be changed so easily that if you want to lose a few pounds or gain a few pounds, the foods don't matter. The foods stay the same. You eat the same types of meals, the same proteins, the same carbs, the same fats. Eat the things you like. If you want to lose weight, eat less. If you want to gain weight, eat more of those foods. There should be no real change. To go on a diet and to lose weight, you shouldn't have to restrict all of these food types. There's no point. you're not going to enjoy it, you're not going to stick with it for years and years and years, and it's not going to work for you. And this is the reason that as a coach, I don't do meal plans. Meal plans do not work for people. They will get you results because they're very strict and you will have to follow it to a T, but they'll get you results for the 6 weeks, the 12 weeks, the 6 months, or whatever that you're working with it. And then the minute that you get sick of it, you get tired of it, you stop following it, you're not going to have learned anything about nutrition. You're only going to know how to follow a meal plan. So your diet should be based on foods that you enjoy, foods that you normally eat, just your normal diet. If there's things in your diet that are awful for you, then yes, you might need to take those out or just lower them to a smaller level. I still consistently eat cookies, cake, pastries, bread, pasta, everything that people say is bad. I eat it and I enjoy it. You're not training for an extreme bodybuilding competition or anything like that. You're training to feel better, to look a little better. Maybe you have a beach trip coming up. Maybe you have a wedding, something like that, or you just want to feel better and look better. Don't go so extreme. There's no point to do that. If you do that, your goals long term are not going to be reached because in a few months, it's not going to happen. So please, please, please find a diet that works for you, that you enjoy, that you like, and think about it long term. Don't think about your diet as, okay, this is a 10-week diet, I'm doing this 10 weeks, because week 11, you're going to binge and it's going to be awful. Eat the foods you like, take them down a little bit, increase them a little bit, do what you have to do. Stick with a normal, healthy, well-rounded diet. Please, please, please. No extreme diets. Tip number 4, we've all dealt with them, injuries. The best thing for an injury is to not have them, but they will happen. So I'm going to give you a couple tips on how to avoid them and how to make them better. These are fairly intuitive, but I know they're hard to follow, especially when you get into the gym, you're lifting weights, you're excited. It's hard, I know it. Tip number 1, to avoid injuries, focus on your movements. Really focus on cleaning up those movements, having correct movement patterns. And this is tough at first. If you don't have a coach, you don't have a personal trainer, you've never worked out before. Our bodies, when we're born, and as humans, have a set movement pattern in ways that we squat, we hinge, we lunge, we push, we pull. We have a movement pattern. But over time, as we sit in our chair all day and we sit on our phones and we don't move our bodies, we lose those inherent movement patterns, the way that we should be moving. A great example of this is a full depth squat, okay? So most adults that don't exercise cannot do a full depth squat staying on their heels, keeping their feet fully planted, and bringing their butt all the way down to the ground without falling over. The people that can always do a full depth squat, heels down, perfect form, beautiful mechanics, are babies. Babies will sit in this squat perfectly. It should be a comfortable position, but we lose that positioning, we lose that mobility, that inherent movement pattern. So please focus on your movements. I know it's tough. Watch some videos. There's a lot of educational videos out there. Hire a personal trainer. I do movement coaching on my custom clients as well. So just find something, really focus on the movements, and don't push heavy weight until you know you've got those movements down right. Because that's going to be how you injure yourself, is by putting a heavy load on your body and not moving appropriately. Now, my second point to this is if you do injure yourself, and it will happen, it happens to all of us, it might be minor, it might be major. So my advice is if you have an injury or you encounter an injury, take the time off until it feels better. Don't push through it. I've heard this from clients, I've heard this from teammates, everybody, I've done it myself. You get hurt and you think, oh, I'm just going to power through it. I don't want to lose my progress because I got hurt. So I'm just going to push through, and then every single time it gets worse. And instead of it taking 2 weeks to heal or 3 weeks to heal, it's 6 months, and you realize it doesn't feel better, it's getting worse, and now I have to take even more time off. So just take care of it, change up the exercises, and please just take care of those injuries. If it's really bad, go see a doctor, get them fixed, because the faster they get better, the sooner you can get back to your training. And tip number 5 just rolls everything back together. Set your goals and think about your training and nutrition as a long-term ordeal, as a long-term goal. In my mind, my training does not have an end. I think about my training as evolving over time. Right now I'm really young, I'm only 24. I feel fantastic, I have a lot of time, I have a lot of energy, so I train a particular way. But I know as I get older, my training is going to change, so my training goals do not have an end. I just know they're going to shift, they're going to change, things are going to happen in my life, but I don't have an end goal. And I feel like that's a big problem with setting these big goals. Is I have a trip in 12 weeks, and I want to be shredded for that. That's what I'm going to start working out for. I'm going to look so good for that trip. And then the trip comes, and you look great, and then a week later, you get back from the trip, and you think, oh man, I'm tired. Okay, I'm going to get back to it next week. And then, oh, I'll get back to it next week. And then months go by, and you realize you haven't worked out, and you haven't been eating right, and you're right back where you started 12 weeks before your trip, because you had that massive goal. So I do like short-term goals because they help push you and motivate you. But after that goal, what are you thinking about? What's your next step? What are you working towards? Why are you training? So think about these goals long-term. What's your purpose? Have a purpose for training. What is your reason? Your training and your nutrition and your health should be a lifelong goal. Your goal should be to do this as consistently as possible for the rest of your life. That should be your main goal, is to do this long term, forever. And I know it sounds like a lot, but it should just be part of your life. Health, fitness, exercising, taking care of your body, it should just be another aspect of your life. Make sure you find time to always and consistently get your workouts in, do your exercise, eat right, and take care of yourself. Okay, I hope those 5 tips helped you guys out some. I know I was talking very seriously for a while, because these are very serious things. These are things I'm very passionate about. I've dealt with all of these things with clients for personal training in person, for online clients. I've heard all of these things. I've dealt with all of these things. They are all very real, and they will all, if you don't do them, they will keep you from being able to work out, exercise, take care of yourself. So follow these 5 tips. Think about how you can approach them and apply them to your own life, and it's going to be different for every single person. But my hope is that you learn something from this. It will improve your training, and it will keep you training for longer and more consistently. So keep up the hard work. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.